Welcome back to another episode of the Briefcase in the Barn, episode 45, with me and Gary, a series of the Furiously Curious show where we talk about business, life, Christianity, more. Let's get into it. Ready?
Always ready.
Okay. Got any questions off the start?
How's your week going?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Getting ready to leave on Thursday, Oklahoma. Go record a podcast with Trey. So, ready for that?
Who's all going to Oklahoma? Just you?
Yeah.
Okay. How long are you there for?
Thursday to Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah, gonna go down there and spend much time in the yard on the weekend.
What's the first thing you think of when you hear about Oklahoma?
Big open space. You?
Timothy McVeigh.
Who's that?
He's the guy that bombed a building when I was a kid. I remember just reading about it, and it was like extremely traumatic for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
How so? Traumatic enough that it showed up at Freedom Session?
No, not that dramatic, but just that I'm thinking about it when I'm 41, and I'm guessing it happened. I mean, you could Google Timothy McVeigh, but it was just really tragic. It was like some government building or something, and he went and bombed it, and I don't know how many people died, but a lot of people died. And that was back before, the massive amounts of school shootings, right?
Yeah.
I remember,
he's in a Supermax prison, or is he dead?
I think he's died. But I even also remember, like, maybe you're too young, but do you remember like the Columbine school shooting?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was in 1996, and I was a kid, and it was just like,
it was a little bit later.
Okay.
I remember because I was when my dad came home. We used to get Time magazines growing up, and I used to read them.
Well, that's where I was going to go with my story, but yeah, okay.
And so I remember the day that I would always read them as a little kid, the Time magazines,
Yeah.
and then along with the newspaper. And I remember my dad getting me a red Jolly Rancher from the grocery store that day, and I was eating a red Jolly Rancher when I was looking at the pictures in Time magazine of that shooting. And now every time I eat a red Jolly Rancher, I get a flashback.
Yeah, it's really tragic. It's interesting because my parents got the BC Report, which is probably like I think it was a pretty well-written magazine. Definitely was aligned with where we landed on a lot of things politically anyways. And I remember reading it as a kid often, and I remember reading about Clifford Olson as a kid. Pretty young.
Who's that?
Sorry, do you not know who Clifford Olson is?
No.
Okay, I know a lot of awful people that you do not know. Anyways, he was a serial killer in probably the 80s. I'm thinking in the 80s.
Where?
And I'm thinking maybe he's passed away now too. He was in Kent for a long time. He was in BC here.
Oh, okay.
And did a lot of awful things. Like a lot of, I won't even.
Indigenous women or?
I think all kinds of young girls and people and boys, and just really tragic. Anyways, it was so, I wonder if kids should be reading stuff like that. That's a question for debate. Some people would probably say it's not healthy.
I don't know. I
definitely made an impact on me.
I believe it. The world's an awful place, man. Like I was watching.
There's a lot of beautiful things that are happening too. It's very easy if you get, and this is way too many people spend too many times in dark places. And because everything is an algorithm on our phones, like we're often fed
more dark stuff.
Yeah,
right? Spend time in the Word.
Yeah.
But I was Tim Tebow, former quarterback, went on the Sean Ryan show this week, and he was talking about all the exploitation of kids and sex trafficking and abuse that happens with minors and child porn and stuff like that happens in the States. And like the numbers are just staggering. And something like 70% of the perpetrators are doing it to their own kids. And I'm just like, I have to turn it off. I have to walk away.
We're starting off pretty heavy.
It's just crushing.
Here. Let's go more light and fluffy. That was heavy. Sorry, I went to let's just. And I think of hurricanes. There's been a lot of tornadoes. Not hurricanes, tornadoes. There's been a lot of tornadoes lately.
Yeah,
there's definitely tornadoes in Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? There's been some monster tornadoes there.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Just hop in a bunker.
Does Trey have a bunker?
I don't know.
I'm sure he does.
I'm
sure he does.
I know he's a lot of guns. Yeah, he's going to take me shooting. He said he's going to do some training with me, some pistol training. And
one of the trips I want to do, have I ever told you this? I want to do the helicopter Texas shooting the wild boars from a helicopter.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.